I came out to my #1 spot, hunting Creedmoor. Actually caught a glimpse of Cutter.
I mean, that tree kind of messes it up.
There's hair, a lot of hair right there, and then there's blood right there.
I mean, you have your arrows almost all the way through.
He's at 45 yards. You gotta think 45 yards. The arrow's not gonna blow.
Okay, well, it's October 26th. It's a Tuesday. I'm on an evening hunt right now. It's pushing like 4:15 right now. I got off school and I came out to my #1 spot, hunting Creedmoor. Coming into the 2021 season, I was beyond pumped to be hunting one of the biggest deer I've ever hunted in my life. The month of October rolled around and I was hunting the deer I called Creedmoor. He was a 5.5-year-old 160 class buck that I only got a handful of pictures of throughout the summer, but I knew he was around. While hunting Creedmoor, I learned that he wasn't living on the piece of property that I was able to hunt. I learned that he was hunted by many other hunters and that I probably should have expanded my properties that I could hunt, trying to gain permission from neighboring properties and trying to expand on the deer. Coming into the month of November, Creedmoor was still #1 on my mind. My grandfather owns a piece of property down in southern Ohio that had a lot of good bucks daylighting. So I kind of expanded down there and I was hunting that solid for 2 weeks in November. Me and my brother just drove down about an hour south to my grandfather's property. I got off school, I swung over to his house, picked him up, and we made it down here about as quick as we could. But we're both walking through this cut bean field right now. And we both got stands in mind. Nathan should be able to find his pretty easy, but we only hunt this a handful of times a year. Between October and November, I was hoping Creedmoor was cruising during the rut. We're back in here at my #1 spot, chasing my #1 deer, Creedmoor. I was in here on Tuesday or Wednesday last week, and I had, I want to say, 5 or 6 different bucks chasing does around here. I mean, it was just wild. Couldn't really pay attention to one deer, but all the bucks were pretty small that I could tell. But I got some intel over the weekend that a fellow hunter about a quarter mile down the road, half mile down the road, got a picture of Creedmoor. I want to say Saturday night at 6:30 Saturday evening. 6:30 he was down there in front of one of their cell cams. And then I talked to another fellow hunter that hunts about a half mile from here, and he had a picture of a Creedmoor from the 22nd. He's still as big as ever. Creedmoor ended up getting shot by a neighbor during gun season. With my #1 getting wiped off the hit list, November came to a close and December started up. I expanded my territory and started getting pictures of a buck we named Cutter.
We had an idea that Cutter was bedding on a neighboring property, and we were trying to cut him off between his bedding area and the standing cornfield that he was moving to. I first laid my eyes on Cutter on December 17th.
What's up, guys? It's December 17th. I just slipped back into a new spot that me and Drake hung, I want to say Sunday last week, and today's Friday. Me and Drake hung this spot right on the edge of a big ridge. I'm oversitting this huge ravine creek bottom. We mainly put it back in here, chasing after a buck that we call Cutter, which I know you guys have heard about Cutter. He's a 160-inch 10-point. I mean, he's an all-around brute, and he was on a camera up closer to the front of the property for about 2 weeks straight. Every night he was in there. So me and Drake hung this spot, tried to get closer, try to catch him in daylight, but he actually went MIA for about a week and a half, and he showed up again last night. So last night he was up at the front of the property at 6:30 in the morning. So my girlfriend's actually hunting up there, which is her spot. So I slipped down in here to this ridge stand. I could see a long while. We have an Exodus cell cam below me that has hardly picked up any deer since last Sunday. It's picked up a couple small bucks, but that's all. But I'm kind of sitting here for an observation sit. I can see a long ways, and tomorrow actually opens up extended gun season here in Ohio. So depending on what I see tonight, even if it's not in bow range, in the morning or tomorrow afternoon, I can have a gun in my hand. So that's kind of the main reason I came back in here, and also to try to maybe catch Cutter slipping out a little bit earlier. So we'll see what we see. Glimpse of a spike running down the hill, and he kind of stopped like 150, 200 yards in front of me, and then I saw two more deer coming behind him, two doe, and after they kind of worked through, no more, I mean maybe 50 yards behind him, I just laid eyes on Cutter, which that is the deer that we came in here for. That is the deer that is my number one deer. He's an absolute tank.
I hunted hard in Ohio's extended gun season, but there was no sign of Cutter, and I decided to give him a break.
It's like 9:15. I'm actually getting out a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but I haven't seen any deer. So.
A piece of property I grew up hunting and was a family farm was sold a couple years back. I haven't hunted it for the past 2 years, but I regained access this past December. Immediately, I threw a couple trail cameras up, and I had 2 shooter bucks showing up religiously on the camera. With brutal weather in the forecast, I started to plan my attack.
Frequently, they actually daylighted last night, so I'm sneaking back there tonight. Gonna hope they daylight again. Joey shot his buck last night. Let's hope I can seal the deal tonight. Last night it was a blizzard, followed into this morning. We got about 4 or 5 inches of snow, so we're heading back in here. It's cold, it's windy. It's gonna be a tough walking in this deep snow, but
Let's hope it pays off.
It's January 18th. Me and Drake just slipped back in here for an evening hunt. We're back on a piece of property that I grew up hunting. I learned to hunt on, and I've been hunting it for about the past month now, and I've had a camera here for about the past month, and a couple bucks have been showing up here. I've kind of come to hunt this one buck for a couple times now, and actually last night I tried slipping in here to hunt him, and I bumped him out. Not where I thought he would be bedding. I bumped him out with a couple other deer that I think to be shedded bucks, but he's a pretty wide 8-point. He's been coming to my camera pretty religiously, so should be a good night. We got a good wind, got a lot of snow, so deer should be on our feet. Seen a lot of tracks on the way in, so let's hope tonight's a good night.
I don't know either. But